Hey, yo. 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 Alright, so I didn't prepare for this episode pretty much at all. I spent the whole day in the garden and doing things around the house. So, welcome to the Midnight Matinee with your boy, the worst Black Widow ever. It's 2022, guys, alright? It's alright. You can judge me if you want, but you shouldn't. It's 2022. And our boy, Agent Sturdy here. We're talking about none other than the next rendition in the Marvel timeline, which is Black Widow. This one hits a little bit different for me. It falls differently in the timeline than when it was actually released, because this came out way after Avengers Endgame. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you stood till the end and saw the after credits, but we'll get to it in a bit here about that. But yeah, so it kind of plays a little bit with you. It hits a little bit differently for me, being a super fan of this shit. You know what I mean? Well, being a really big fan. Let me not say super, because James and fucking Charles blow me out of the water. But yeah, man, what's going on today? How you doing? How do your podcast go and everything?
Well, I answer the podcast questions first. Podcast Thursday was a great fucking time. We had an amazing time. Lots of laughs, Chris. You know it. You were there, man. Shit. We had Joe. We had Kelvin. We had Sean on there. We did the Repo Opera movie. Lots of laughs. Had a great time. And then Friday, I got to do 2 Patreon episodes, guys. That's right, 2 Patreon episodes, which they're not gonna be out for a little bit. I said some crazy shit on Popcorn and Pints. I'm gonna stick with it. I said it's gonna come. It's coming out between. Here's what makes sense. It's gonna come out between now and January 1st.
What's that?
But my Patreon content. The reason why I'm saying that, it could come out sooner. I'm just saying that's like the furthest date would be January 1st, which would be my 5-year anniversary and all that fun stuff. But the reason why I'm saying that, though, is just so I have enough, because I don't want to sit here and, if I really wanted to, I can drop Patreon content next week and it'll just be 2 episodes. I'd rather have a stockpile of stuff.
Okay.
And then release it. And then on top of that, when you guys are requesting things, I already have a bunch of shit recorded that's going out to you guys already. So once I bring in your requests and get those recorded, I have time to work on those and get those out for you as well. So I want to kind of just, again, I want to build up before I really launch this, so you guys have something to enjoy and watch and spend your money on.
Bet.
But that's coming out. And then overall, I'm doing good today. I did have to go to a friend's wake, so I want to say rest in peace to my boy Javon. Thank you, sir. All the best to your really, really close friends, because I know me and you weren't like super close. We were boys. Always, anytime we see each other, it's always all love. But much love to your close friends, and much love to your family, and most importantly, much love to your mother and your sister and your nieces. And God bless, man. Thanks for the love, bro. I'll never forget you. Hashtag 99, people. That was his football jersey number. And he made a big impact on a lot of people. So shout out to him. All positivity to him and his family and loved ones.
Nice. R.I.P.
Other than that, man, I was good. I had a pretty good day.
Nice. Oh, I got a new follower. What's going on? Thank you so much for coming. Hope you're having a good time. Hope you enjoy the Midnight Matinee tonight. If this is your first one, this is our 17th episode, I believe, or 18th episode. We're going down the MCU timeline right now. You can catch all the other episodes on the YouTube channel as well if you like. Go back, backtrack, see which one's your favorite, or watch them all. Let me know what you think of them. Hit the comments. Let Sturdy know. Go catch him on his Twitch channel, his YouTube, and his Facebook as well. He streams Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Best and worst horror movies, period.
Yeah. I'm going to make it even easier for you guys. Can I just say one more thing if you don't mind? I have a QR code, if you guys can see it in the bottom corner, the bottom left-hand corner on my side. I know a lot of people watching their phones. That's fine. Just grab your significant other's phone, your friend's phone, have them scan it with their phone, and later on you scan it with your phone. Whatever you got to do, that way you can go right to my website and get all my links. It's the easiest way I thought of for you guys. That way you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, go ahead and do that. And yeah, this movie here was an interesting ride. That's what I'm going to say. I got some shit to say, kind of.
Excuse me. Still trying to get this whole audio shit dialed in.
Audio dialed in?
Yeah, with the background tracks and all of that other shit. It's always interesting. Always interesting. All right. So, Black Widow, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Start off by asking you this. Was this anything you were expecting?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I didn't think I was gonna say this, man, but I enjoyed the Thor movies better than this.
No.
I didn't like this one at all, really. I really did not like this one that much. Like, I'm ready to give my rating. I give this one a 4, if that. I just didn't. I don't know what it was. It just didn't give me that connection that all the other ones had with the story for me. Maybe with you discussing it with me and telling me something that really stood out to you that you really enjoyed it, but this movie kind of fell flat for me. It kind of felt rushed. And then
This?
for me, it felt rushed. I just did not really. It just didn't connect. I did watch it.
You didn't actually watch it. You just
And
let
I
it
just-
play and gazed.
Nothing grabbed me. Nothing really
Did
grabbed
you
me.
watch this with the wife?
Nah, she's in
You
Rochester.
didn't watch it. Then you didn't watch the whole thing. You didn't pay attention to the whole movie.
I tried, man. I tried my best. And it just didn't. Yeah, but I've watched other ones without her during this thing. I think I watched one or two other ones without her just because of the order we had to watch them in. And this was just one I just really didn't. I really didn't care for. I tried. I wanted to, but I was just like, nah, it's just not doing it for me. It just didn't do it for me.
I don't know. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say it was the best one of them all, but I'm not gonna say it's as bad or as good, let's say, as the Thor movies. It's definitely better than the Thor movies. The action sequences were way better. I mean, the way this was shot, the fight scenes, all that shit. Like, honestly, this almost felt like fucking G.I. Joe type movie. You know what I mean? To me, have you seen those movies, Snake Eyes and the other two G.I. Joes with Channing Tatum?
Bits and pieces of it, and I think that's what takes me out of it. It doesn't feel like a Marvel film. It feels. I'm glad you actually mentioned that. It feels kind of G.I. Joe-ish more than like a Marvel, and I don't know, man. It's not a bad movie, but it's one that I would probably never would do this whole journey again of watching all these films because there's so many of them. But if I did, and if this was like, if they're like, this is one you could skip, I would say I would just skip it. Like, I wouldn't even watch it again, even though it's like, oh yeah, this and that, the third about it, it connects with this. No, I would just skip it. I know it has some importance. That's that's the only reason why I would watch it. But if it's one of those ones where you can kind of skip, just bring me on.
Honestly, this one doesn't really have much of importance at all. This is just a story for Romanoff because she's been in almost every single movie. She is a supplementary character, but she's a very strong supporting character, and she plays the fence on both sides. So this one was more of, because I guess how her story plays out, and the end credit scene gives it away in this one. But if you watch this when the movies had come out, as they were released, you would know already what happens and that she died. So then that end credit scene, it doesn't hit you as hard, and that was one of the things that I didn't like most about this, is that it's almost like, why did they inject that into this
Black
now
Widow.
at this point? But then again, that end scene also not only isn't just about Romanoff, it's about her sister, who then they show you Jeremy Renner's character, Hawkeye, as Ronin, and now he's a mark. He's the next target for the sister, right? From Natasha, or what's Natasha's sister's name?
Like Marco's backpack.
Oh, I forgot.
Hey you!
Shit.
That's in here.
Hey you!
I don't remember her name.
Something
always forget.
different. Bring it up.
Black Widow's cast.
Sister.
Try this.
Yelena. That's right, Yelena.
Okay.
It's so funny. Scarlett Johansson does not, like, red carpet photos compared to her as, like, Black Widow just does not look the same at all. Completely different, and that's so dope. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the suits in this one. For sure. For sure.
Yeah, I'm not mad about the suits either.
Okay, so the action, it was action packed. There was fast scenes, a lot of stuff like transitioning quickly. I can understand that you say it feels like it was rushed, but I don't think it was rushed. I don't think it. To me, it didn't feel like it was rushed. To me, it felt like it was just progressing. Like, shit's happening now. Like, it's in the moment. The shit is going down. This is the next thing that happens. This is the next thing that happens. This is the next thing that happens. You know what I mean? There was no, hey, there was time to sit down and talk and have a break like in the Avengers, and then all of a sudden later on there's a climax or this, that. It's like every scene or two there's something going on. It still has some talking points with her reaching into the family bag on this one, obviously. And then you got the fucking, what was his name? The Red Guardian, the Russian Captain America there.
Yeah.
Who was her pseudo father. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at the progression of this movie because I feel like if it would have been a slower pace or if it would have been a little bit more drawn out, then we would have had another side of the complaint to have that, hey, this is way too long, too much shit that's not needed, this, that, and the third. So I almost feel like they probably shot more, but this was what made it on the edit floor. This was kind of, to me, a good flow for it because it wasn't super long. It didn't feel like it was dragging a lot of shit out to me, and it didn't feel like it was cutting a lot of shit out that you're missing things or like would have been more important to the story, or like, hey, what happened, where that, what, just, you know what I mean, like that you would need more explanation on or anything like that. I feel like it did a decent job at showing you a little bit of her childhood past, a little bit of her adult and the shit on Rose, and that her running the situation with her sister. And that, I mean, as much as this is a story about Romanoff, this is also the beginning and the end, not even entry, but it's kind of the segue, I guess, to the sister story, because she was more just, well, should I say more? I would say it was probably an equal part her story in this one than Romanoff. It wasn't just, this wasn't just Black Widow as far as Romanoff, as far as Natasha goes. This was Black Widow more of where she came from and the Black Widow like program and shit like that, and where she got her training and how she even became to be, you know, her badass self.
Agreed. I mean, yeah, that is true, but I just didn't get a connection with this movie. I didn't really have. It wasn't bad, and for me, it felt too long. Like, I feel like, because it was about an hour, or not an hour, it was about 2 hours and 50, like the length of the rest of the majority of it. I think it's gonna be
2 hours and 14 minutes. It wasn't 3 hours. It wasn't 2 hours and 30 minutes. It was just
no, but a lot of them are like 2 hours, around that 2 hours and 14, 15, 17 minute range. I'm getting at. This one could have been shorter, I feel. I don't know. There was nothing that made me like really want to. I don't know. It just didn't catch it. I watched it, of course, but it didn't like really grab me. Like, oh shit, this fucking movie, holy shit! Like, I'm fucking clutching my seat or whatever. This was more of just like, I'm just sitting here watching it. And all the other ones were like, I'm at least, even with Thor, there were some parts where I'm at least. I mean, I guess it's had a couple parts where I was like, oh shit, where you're clutching your seat. But still, man, it just didn't do it for me. It really didn't. I was disappointed with this one, actually. But I wasn't, at the same time, I wasn't I don't know. This was one of the ones I wasn't really having expectations for, and I feel more so because of how you're saying how she's kind of a side character, like she's with the bigger movies or with the other movies like Avengers and Iron Man and all that. And I feel this would have made maybe a better series or a side quest with like her and Hawkeye or just some shit like that. I don't know what exactly, but something of that nature, because this is just nah for me. This is a nah.
This thing got 9 awards out of the 31 nominations that it was elected for. 31.
Hey.
So it's kind of one of those things, man. But then I guess it comes down to what else was it up against at the time. But I mean, this came out.
I mean, 2020 was it, or was it 2021? I'm not sure, but I mean,
2021.
Because this one came out, wasn't this the only Marvel movie that came out during COVID that was like a Disney Plus release / theatrical release? Didn't do so hot theatrical.
No, I don't think so. I think this was theater because Yeah. I'm pretty
No,
sure
it was. I think this is when that was both. I think this is the one that was both. But wasn't this after that? Like when they had the falling out, when she had the falling out with Marvel or with Disney and all that shit.
Who?
The lawsuit. Scarlett Johansson.
I don't know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, it was after this movie.
Got
It was
it.
after this one with Disney because they had some. It was something with the contract and the deal. I don't know if it was something about back pay because of streaming or what, but there was something in there.
Because their contract was meant for a theatrical release, but then they ended up streaming it or whatnot. So it's like, how do I get paid on that?
Well, they did both, but yeah, exactly. And she was wanting back pay from the streaming, which I fucking understand. Shit, like, and I know, I guess people could say the contract, but I'm like, okay, so when this contract was originally signed, we never fucking heard of COVID. You know what I mean? There was no pandemic going on. So it's like, now because of COVID, you have to write like IE in case of a pandemic, and we have to stream. I'm still gonna be getting paid to stream. Like, I'm not even trying to be fun. I'm being dead serious with it because like, do you have to really put that in there, or is it gonna be like, okay, well, we did both, so they should really get paid for both? But at the same time, the company's like, you know what? We said theatrical. This is what they made theatrical. This is what you're gonna get paid for the theatrical release. Yes, we have to do streaming because of COVID, but that wasn't in your contract. And I know that COVID wasn't like we didn't know about it ahead of time, but you know, unforeseen circumstances is not in your contract.
How do they even, like, I don't even know how that even becomes a conversation or a battle. Like, hey, my movie's coming out, so keep track of how many subscriptions come on in the same week or month or whatnot. I want a piece of that. Like,
You could say the subscriptions. You can also just look at the views for the movie. Just like you would just look at those numbers for,
Yeah,
you know, the
but
theatrical releases.
but Disney Plus isn't like other fucking streaming services. It's not like there's ad revenue on there. You know what I mean? They only play the movie. They only play their shit, and there's no interruption. So it's not like they're getting money from anybody else to advertise on their platform.
No. But what I'm saying though is, you can tell by, like, say me and you going to watch these films. We're going through to watch these films, and there's probably another million people that are going through to watch these films doing the same exact thing we're doing, podcasts or not.
Yeah.
So it's like those, you know, they should get paid for those views. It's like with music too. I mean, with the streams, you don't gotta get into that stuff, but you know what I mean. And it should be the same with the movie, especially more so with the whole pandemic shit. Like, that should be in contracts from here on out. Now,
But that's what I mean. It's like with music, you got ads. So there's big companies paying big money to the company that's letting them play your music, and then they're interrupting your music or your channel to put in an ad that they just made revenue on. So I understand, give me more money for that.
That also depends on where you release your music. Just really quick, because like, say, I guess movies too, because like, say with Spotify, for example, if you get the paid subscription, no commercials, but you're paying that subscription. So, and then if you don't, you have the commercials, you don't get as much content, you don't get as much music. And then you say with what's a good one? I'll use Peacock. Peacock is $5 a month with commercials, $10 a month commercial free. So it's like you still get the ads in there, or you pay an extra $5, which I guess in a sense covers maybe with the ad. I don't know, because a lot of people will pay the extra $5 just for the hassle, or just for not having to deal with commercials. And then there's people like myself that's just like, you know what, fuck it, commercials really doesn't hurt that bad. And during the movies, they really don't show too many commercials, honestly, for shows, and that happens anyway. So who the fuck cares?
Right, but I mean,
You
if
save
you're
$5
talking about fucking 10 million subscribers and fucking half of them are paying for the extra service, then yeah, 5 million people times $5. You do the math on that. You know what I mean? But with a movie thing like this, it's like, okay, the movie comes out and the shit's gonna be streamed anyway. So how do we even pay you off of the view? You know, content on YouTube gets paid off of the revenue and shit like that off of the ads. So it's not like, so I don't understand how a movie.
There has to be
how
some
a movie could get somebody a pay, and then okay,
Or
what do you want?
okay,
Fucking 3
maybe
cents
it's-
per view, 8 cents per view, like.
Maybe it's views, maybe it's subscription when the movie came out, and then also subscription around when the movie came out / viewing. Like, because you could say like 100,000 people subscribe for this movie, but only 2 people watched it. Then it's like these other, you know what I mean? Other, well, less than 100,000, but you know what I mean? Did these other people subscribe for Black Widow, or they just subscribed, and now Black Widow just happened to come out,
Right.
but they didn't watch it. That's so I don't know. So I don't know if you have to factor in both. Like, okay, so with this IP address, this subscription, they subscribed January 1st. Black Widow came out January 1st, and they watched Black Widow. But these guys did. I don't fucking know. I digress with that one. I don't know.
I just don't understand. So now, like, every person gets, what, 3 cents off of every view of the entire movie? Like, who's in the movie? Like, that's the thing I don't understand. Whatever.
I don't know.
That's a lost battle anyway. Because if somebody buys the Blu-ray, you're only getting paid off that sale once.
Yeah.
And
I could be completely wrong.
It's a $25 movie, so what are you getting from that? $2 as the actor? $1.50?
I don't know. Because I don't know if you could do streams like you could do. I'll say this last thing, I guess, about it. I don't know if you could do a stream like what is that? What is that back pay called? You know, how, like when a series is playing, or music, or even music is playing in like a certain series. Let's say 20 years after royalties. I wonder if that can be a factor with streaming. The only reason I'm saying that is if you go back to the subscriptions, possibly, and then maybe you divide that by how many views that movie got for that subscription, say for like just because we're talking about it for Disney Plus. I don't know. I'm just wondering what the fuck it is. I'm sure we're all wondering that though.
So then what do you do with a situation like Milan, where the fucking movie got, like, they were like, oh, Milan's coming. Mad people bought the fucking Disney Plus series, and then the shit sucked, so they asked for their money back. It was like, nah, I'm good.
I mean, at the same time though, you can't get your money back for that. And the reason why I say that is because that's just like going to the movies. You're excited about, because if that movie would have dropped in theaters, those same people that went and drove to fucking get it on Disney Plus would do the same thing to the theaters. And then it's like,
you
okay,
can still ask for your money back going to the theater. You can say you didn't enjoy the movie and they give you your money back.
I feel like if you stay and watch the whole movie, you don't deserve to get your money back. If you leave early and it has to be a certain part, then I get it. I feel like if you leave early and you watch less than, I'll say,
Like
half
5 minutes of the movie.
Oh, if it's like 45 minutes, that's of course. But I'm saying, if you watch it, yeah, I guess that's around half-ish of the movie. The movie's about an hour and a half. Then it's like, okay, you got it. But if you're sitting here watching, like, yeah, I hated that movie, and the movie's 2 hours, and you stay for like an hour and a half, you might as well just stay for the last half hour. Like, you might as well just stay for the last fucking half hour. You just wasted your money and your time.
Then who do you send you send a letter to the movie studio and you want the fucking money back. Send me
Here's
a
what listen, if I'm sure it's gonna happen, so I'll say if and when it happens, so where I go out and watch a movie with the wife, or say me and the guys go out and watch a movie and we're doing that one-off review, it's just gonna be content for me. And I'm sure for them too, like, fuck, I went to go see this movie, it sucked, blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna say here getting I mean, I may make the joke like, hey, yeah, blah blah blah, getting my money back, but I'm not gonna fucking try to sue and do all that other dumbass shit. Or whatever, you know. Fuck it.
Write a letter to email and shit, blast that on social media, and then all of a sudden that message will appear. We're sorry you didn't enjoy our presentation of blah blah blah. Please enjoy your next movie on us. And then you'll get like a fucking Regal card in your mail or something.
I'm not going to turn that down, but I'm just saying I'm not going to be one of those that complains about it. If you want to hear us complain about movies that we don't like, watch the podcast and go from there and give us our pay us for that. Here you go. Here's your money for that time for watching that movie. Thank you.
Gotta be enough people, but yeah. I mean, this movie, like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the pacing of it. I enjoyed that it was action packed. There was a lot of fight scenes. There was some slowdown with the heartfelt stuff of the family and stuff like that, and them coming back together and them fighting back and forth between, you know, what was real, what wasn't real, if their actual, you know, childhood even meant anything and all this shit, you know what I mean? So I get where Romanoff was coming from, and I also get where Yelena was coming from. Kind of weird again, like they're going to sit down and fucking the mother there fucking is like, hey, not for nothing, but just because we were together for 3 years undercover, does that really mean we can still use the family term? Like, you know? And
Yeah.
Romanoff is like, no. My sentiments exactly. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. I fucking loved how the fucking Red Guardian was just wrecking people and fucking arm wrestling in jail, and he's over here telling war stories about Captain America and shit, and he's like, I don't know, 83, 84 or something, and the guy's like, Captain America was still on ice. And he just breaks his wrist, and then later on he asks Romanoff, hey, so, while you were with him, did he mention me at all or anything? And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, this guy is seriously delusional. Because Cap didn't come out of the ice till what, 2005, 2006? Something like that in the movies? So it's like, what the fuck is this guy, who the fuck was this guy fighting? Like, was there another Captain America that wasn't really Captain America, another prototype, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, begs the question, or is this guy just seriously screwed up in the head and he just envisioned and made this whole fucking delusion up?
Yeah, this is that he was definitely a bright spot of this movie for me. I will say that. And he was in Stranger Things, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know.
You never seen Stranger Things? Holy shit! I really think you would enjoy it. I really feel you would enjoy it.
David Harbour.
I got some right here. Really quick. Right here.
Oh, it was.
And it's... You should definitely check that shit out, though, man. Season 4 just came out. I'm actually going to be watching that with the wife. It's all day Sunday, maybe into Monday. Well, all evening, after whatever. Tomorrow. Today.
Yeah. And fucking Julia Louis-Dreyfus makes an appearance at the end of this shit too. It's like, oh shit. It's like, all right. But like I said, when we get past this next section that's coming up here, this is the tail end now. We're coming up. We're past the 7th-inning stretch. We're coming up on the tail end of the game here for the Avengers and all that shit. So once we get past this stuff, then we'll transition into those series, and we'll talk about like the whole series, basically one episode type deal. Because there are only 6 episodes or whatnot, you know what I mean? So I mean, I think we can handle 6 hours of content in 2 hours. You know what I mean? Talking about it or whatnot. But yeah, then she makes an appearance again in the Hawkeye thing, and that's where Yelena comes back, and that's where the end credit scene was meant for, to show you her getting into that or whatnot, and going after him in that route. So that's kind of, so I was torn on that end credit scene, and this is one of the first movies that I was like, I mean, the Thor one I was pissed off at, don't get me wrong. Fucking still telling him about the Tesseract and shit. I'll mention that every fucking time. But this one was like, I don't... especially since you see her at the grave, we're like, those of us who've seen the movies already know Romanoff dies. And if you haven't, I'm sorry for spoiling that with you, but when you get to Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, you'll see what happens. You know, but I like that they gave her time to shine, because she wasn't the most prominent Avenger. She wasn't the most... she was definitely one of the most interesting Avengers, but she didn't get, like, a lot of the glory and, like, screen time and shit like that. She had key moments in, like, talking to people at, like, the right time about certain things, and she has some dope fight scenes in some of the other movies. But this gives her kind of a full circle, in-depth view to her, because we're not going to see her again, and it's like, okay, now we know this character. Now we got her backstory, we got what she did before and what happened after, and then now how it comes full circle from her going from assassin to S.H.I.E.L.D. and Avenger back to her home of the assassins, of the Black Widows and shit like that. So I kind of like that part of it, how it brings her story full circle. It shows her again, it reminds you she's gone. It's like, see you later, and now this is chapter close and the story for her, you know what I mean? So I kind of enjoyed that part of it. That's one of the things I did like about this movie. I wish this would have played out or been shot and released before her death, because watching all of this, getting that backstory, because we've grown to like her at that point, we're like, damn, she's always on the fence, like she's badass, all this shit. But then, if we would have seen that end credit scene before Avengers Infinity War Endgame happens, then we would have been like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? It would have been that, oh shit moment at the end. And then like, wait, who the fuck is this? Like, okay. Obviously, you know, it's Yelena because her sister now from watching the entire rest of the movie, but still, like, if that would have been somewhere else, or if that would have been before we got to Infinity War Endgames, it would have hit harder. And I don't know if it's just because of timing and the shit that was going on with pandemic coming, all this other shit, that, you know, 2019, 2020 fucked up, and then this had to be, you know, delayed and waited on. So I can't recall the history if it was supposed to.
Oh shit!
Like my camera. If it was supposed to drop like my camera before all that happened. Part of me feels like it was. Part of me does feel like it was, because it didn't feel like they hinted at anything or any of the tragedy or anything like the Infinity Stones or nothing like that. So part of me feels like this was supposed to be a shock end credit scene, and this was supposed to be something that got you like, all right, cool, I really like this chick. She's badass. Look at the fight scene. She's jumping off bridges. She's fucking skydiving, saving her sister. Like, she's fucking changing her face and shit. She's so badass, she bashes her own face to get rid of the fucking control device that was in her and shit, so that she can fight the, you know, the leader there. And then fucking this end credit scene would have been like,
oh my god, how? When did this happen? Why did this happen? What the fuck?
It definitely would have left you like all the other ones, well, majority of the other ones, where it's like, I can't wait for the next movie. Oh, I can't wait to see when she comes on again. Because especially her, we don't know if she's coming on in the next movie of Black Panther. We don't know if she's coming on in the next movie of, what was the, I have my tablet open. What was it, Black Panther?
Is it Endgame after that, or is there another Thor movie?
Ragnarok, yes, it's Black Panther, Black Panther, Ant-Man and Wasp,
Ragnarok,
and then Avengers, Infinity War, and then Endgame, I believe.
Okay.
So this placed in perfectly where it is a great setup for, oh, fuck! I can't wait to see what happens next. When's the next movie she's gonna be in? When's the next movie she's gonna be in type deal. So I think timing and pandemic and all that shit might have fucked a few things up. But yeah, I think it would have been super more effective that route than it being after the fact. Because you already know, spoiler, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, it's not really an Easter egg, that's not really a setup for anything. You just know.
This movie should have came out before that.
Yeah.
Before, yeah.
Honestly, it should have came out exactly where it's placed in like the timeline, if you think about it. So right after fucking the Civil War, this should have been the movie to drop.
Okay, I see that.
Especially with at the end of the movie when she gets the jet, right? Her homeboy there, the fucking weapons dealer or whatever, he gets her the jet. And he's like, hey, so what are you gonna do now? And she's like, oh, I'm gonna go fucking back and figure some shit out and maybe spring a couple of my friends from jail. So that plays into, hey, the end of Civil War, everybody's in jail. Rogers is about to break them out at the end of the scene there. He shows up out of the shadow there. Yep. So she's there with him. She's probably keeping the jet warm, you know what I'm saying? So it literally should have been released right after Civil War to give that same effect the way it did. So this is the first time I'm going to bitch and gripe about the continuity of all of these movies from beginning to end and when they dropped and all that shit. Yet we've had them all come out different order and jumble, but this one was kind of more important to be right there just for those few little things that I just said or whatnot. So I really, this is where I think they dropped the ball just a little bit. Just a little bit. You know, not as bad as you feel.
Yeah.
Not as bad to me as you feel, but to me it's like they could have done a little bit better for planning, but then again, COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know. Because if you think about it, it's usually a year, 2 years between a year and a half, 2 years that these movies were filmed, edited, and then put out, right? So if this came out in 2021 and it was delayed because of all this shit, it was supposed to be released 2019, 2020. So 2019 hits, COVID hits, shit starts to shut down and all of that. So they delay it. They finish it up 2020. They release it after editing and all that shit 2021. So it may have been that way where it's supposed to come out before Endgame and all that shit. So that the end credits scene would have had the bigger impact.
I agree.
What is that?
Lappy.
My PlayStation just is listening. It just like waiting for a command. I'm like, I didn't say any command.
It's listening to you.
Okay. All these devices always listening. Always listening.
Yeah. I just started gaming again last night. My PlayStation was acting up for the past couple nights because I was off since I took Thursday, Friday off, so I didn't game at all Wednesday night. It was doing black screen, it was doing all kinds of crazy shit. I was getting mad, nervous, upset, and I finally got it officially working last night or the night before. And I'm like, thank you.
How long have you had that thing for?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
You ever blow out the vents and all that shit? Get dust out of it and shit? Especially it being up in the attic, man. That shit.
Yeah, no, I do. And it's not too hot because I have, so like right now I have my fan going on. I had the AC going on and off. And then I have it in one of those, like when it's on, it's in one of those, those holder things with the fan on the side.
Got it.
And then I also have like a double fan thing, the square fans about this big that look like they go inside the computer, but they don't. If it gets too hot, I'll put those on it as well.
Gotcha.
So it'll be all right. But I was just like, fuck.
So, what did you think about the villains in this one?
They're all right.
They're all right.
They're all right. It was just, again, there was no connection. I just didn't really. This movie was like blah to me, and I hate that term, but it was like blah. Just so much thrown together to me, and the story just wasn't told as well as other films, previous films. Even with Ant-Man, with the, you had the little touchy-feely stuff with his daughter, but you still had like a story of a man. It's like a redemption story, kind of. Yes, he's the thief in a sense. Well, he was, but he goes and does what he has to do. Gets this Ant-Man suit originally, and he's doing it for a good reason. At the end of the day, like the guy that's watching him, he's doing it for a good reason, a very heroic reason. And this, I didn't really care about this one. Like I said, I didn't like this one really. I almost gave it less than a 4, and I'm contemplating on that right now. Like the more we talk about it, the less I like it.
That's crazy that you really think this is way worse than fucking.
Yeah, I thought Thor was more. At the very least, Thor was more entertaining for me. Like I wasn't even really that entertained by it.
How? This had fast-paced action. This had fighting. This had fucking like badassness. This had fucking jumping out of planes, shit exploding. Like how? Thor had nothing but a guy that fucking talked and wooed a girl, looked into her eyes half the time, and then that was it. Swung his hammer when he got it back.
Again, I guess my thing is this just did not feel. You said G.I. Joe. I can even say it just felt like a regular action movie to me. It felt like nothing Marvel to me at all, besides the character names, and that didn't do it for me.
Human, she doesn't have powers. The only guy who had powers was the fucking Red Guardian.
I know. It just. Again, this would have been better as a series or as like a side. Just tell a little bit of her story in Avengers, and then that's I don't know.
I really can't see that it's that bad. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not the greatest movie of all the Marvel movies, for sure. But especially since we, the last episode I rescaled and I was like, yo, Thor is now a 6.
Yep.
And fucking, the Ant-Man, was it Ant-Man?
I think it was. I think Ant-Man was a 6. Yeah, because I gave Ant-Man, that episode I gave Ant-Man like a 7.8 and then a 7.5. And I was like, you know what? You're dropping Thor down to 6. I'm going to do the same thing and give Ant-Man a solid 7. And I liked all those movies better than this. Quite a bit more better than this. I'm bumping this movie down to a 2.
Wow.
I really did not like this one. I really did not like it.
You've said you've seen this before or no?
No, it was my first time watching.
And honestly, you gave it a good shot. Like, you watched it scene for scene. You paid attention the whole time. You wasn't doing nothing else while you were watching it.
No, when I watch these movies, I sit down and watch them. Usually I'm watching with the wife, but she wasn't here, so I just sat down, watch them. I'll be eating dinner with the wife, watching these movies. So I'm doing the same thing, but by myself, watching this, and I just didn't care
You
for
are in the grand minority. Grand minority. Like I said, this was nominated for 31 awards.
I get now and I don't want to disrespect. I don't care about the award shit because that means nothing to me. That just means yes, it won a lot of awards, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna. You know what I mean? It's not because there's a lot of things that won a lot of awards. And you're just like just because they won a lot
Shitty
of
movies
awards
don't get nominated. That's the thing. It's like,
but still, this is just. This also, I feel like this to me felt like one of those ones was like, and I know it wasn't, but it felt like kind of like a money grab. It felt like just fucking Marvel's names on it, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, great talents. Let's just throw this one out there, and it didn't stick for me. No, this is a no for me. I didn't think I was gonna rate anything in Marvel this fucking low. Honestly, I thought my lowest rating was gonna be Thor with a 6, but yeah, this is a 2. This is definitely a 2 for me. And I know I'm probably in the minority, and I don't care. I just did not like this.
yeah, like this was a buzzy movie. Like, people love this movie. That's so weird. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I was not expecting that at all. Well, I mean, hey, that's good though. At least there's something that you're just, you know what I mean? We're mixing it up. You're not like, well, it's a 7, it's an 8, it's a 7, it's an 8, it's a 9.
Exactly. And people like there's a lot of the films. Those are all my ratings that I do are honest ratings or how I feel about the movie when I watch them most times. And like this one again, of course it can kind of change for better or for worse with our discussions. And this one just dropped down more for me. And I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad I watched it, and I actually enjoy when we have. Don't get me wrong, I love when we have the same opinions and we kind of build off of that. And sometimes we end up loving or enjoying the movie a lot more. But I also love when we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, where it's like, okay, I see why you said that, and you see why I said this. And yes, I know the majority of the people probably love this movie that have seen it, or at least liked it a lot. And then there's a handful of us that just don't like this, and that's awesome.
That's a handful. You can count them on one hand.
Hey, I'm perfectly fine with that, and that's not one of those corny things to be different. Like I really just, if you watch the other episodes, no, not if. When you watch the other episodes of this, you'll see how I felt about all the other movies before this point, and you'll see what I mean. Like again, Thor lowest rating is a 6. Both those Thor movies. This is a 2 for me. But again, I've seen so much worse as far as film goes. So, this is. If you go to Horror Research 30, if you go to Popcorn and Pints, I've watched so much worse. Just today, Sex and the City 2, I gave it a -4. That was just trash. So I've seen so much worse. Different genre, yes, I know. But you guys see how my rating scale is? A 2. It can be bad, but is it really that bad? If I go from a -10 to a +10 on everything that I rate. So yeah, this is a solid 2. It's better than Aquaman. I know that's DC, but it's way better than Aquaman. So that was. I told you guys I'd watch Batman Forever and Batman and Robin before I watch Aquaman.
Okay, wait. So you're using the -10 to 10 scale, or you're just using 0 to 10? Because I just ever you do 0 to 10 here.
0 to 10. This is a 2 either way.
Wow. Okay. I was like, damn. I was trying to get it like another 2 or 3 points.
Nah. I know you do. I know you do you don't do the negatives, but if I was going by my rating scale, either way, this would be a 2 because it's still kind of on the lower end. And if I was just gonna go from a 0 to a 10, I'd probably drop it down to a 1. But I'll give it a 2 to be fair. To be nice for some of the scenes that I enjoy. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I can't get down to that. Not at all. Yeah, like I said, I can kind of partially see some of the things that you might have complained about, but not maybe. I really just don't know if you watched it with the right eyes or something, man. Because this was a decent ass movie.
Hey, but again, man, like our taste in movies sometimes they could just surprise. Just like, holy shit, I thought he was gonna love this. I thought he was gonna hate this, and it's the complete opposite. And this was just one of those ones that just didn't do it for me. It didn't do it for me.
Well, with that being said, also, when you guys go back and you watch those other videos, Midnight Matinee, on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like, hit the subscribe, get down in the comments, Let him know how crazy he actually is, because he's tired of hearing it from me. Because he's tired of hearing it from me whenever I'm dropping my jaw and shit. But no, but yeah, I just make sure you let them know. Make sure you go catch him Tuesdays and Thursdays at Horror with Sir Sturdy as well on Twitch, YouTube, and the Zoo Network.
Yes.
Ow, I am fucking flabbergasted. I wish, bro. I wish James and fucking Charles was here right now.
Me too.
Oh my god, they be blowing you up.
I love that. You know how I am, though. Here's I want to tell you guys something. You guys see me in person. You guys see a lot of us at the Z Network recording with each other a whole lot. I'll say for the most part, it's me, Chris right over here, and our friend James. Between Horror Source 30, Popcorn and Pints, and then I'll just throw this in there because we usually Chris do this. Well, I help Chris with his show, or I'm a guest on his show, however you want to call it. But for the most part, we know how each other feels about certain films and certain ones. But then there's those ones. There's those ones where you're just like, holy shit, I thought you were gonna fucking hate this, or holy shit, I thought you were gonna love this. And there's been a lot over these past few months. All across the board, I feel like especially with me, but just in general, all across the board with all of us, if you want to include Caucasian Chris as well, and Ibrahim when he shows up, but more so the rest of us, it's like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, what's going on with your ratings, man? What's going on? And I understand this is going to be one of those films where you guys are going to be, yo, what is he talking about? Listen, people, I just did not like this movie. It wasn't terrible. I've seen a shit ton worse, but it just didn't hit for me. It just didn't connect with me. It didn't click with me. It didn't pique my interest. Like, if I had to watch it again, I would. If this was on TV and there was nothing else on and I didn't want to go to YouTube, I would watch it, I guess. But other than that, I'm changing the channel.
So you don't like action movies at all?
I do, but this was just... I enjoy action movies. I just didn't enjoy this one.
This had one-liners and chuckles. This had dope-ass fight scenes and fucking, like, from the top rope shit and fucking, like, fast action hurricanranas and badass chicks, and then the funny-ass fucking Crimson guy there, and, like, that's why I'm like, holy shit. And then the chick that ended up being the daughter of the main guy that was running the Red Room and running the Widow program was his daughter that Widow thought she killed and blew up. I was like, oh shit. And then she's fucking trained to mimic everything. So I don't know if you were watching those fight scenes. She literally handled every weapon and every punch and everything like all different Avengers. She handled her shield like Captain America. She handled the knife like fucking Winter Soldier. She handled her fucking sword like fucking Hawkeye and Ronin. She handled the fucking her hand-to-hand combat like Romanoff. She was just straight up all of the Avengers in one, and that to me was like, oh shit, she has to fight all of her fucking dudes that she trains with in this one fucking chick right here. And I didn't even know it was a chick actually until she took the fucking thing off.
At the end, yeah, towards the end of the movie, yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Yeah, I immediately, what was the first or second fight scene when they're on the bridge. As soon as I saw her fucking throw that fucking shield, I was like, what the fuck? And then she started like coming at her doing the drop kicks and shit. I was like, yo, she's fighting like Cap right now. And then you fucking see her sitting in the room and she's watching the films and shit like that, you know what I mean? And then the guy explains that to you, and then she gets into the fight in their fucking lair or whatever, and she fucking drops the knife and shit and flips it and fucking goes at her and goes at the Crimson guy just like fucking Winter Soldier did. I was like, oh shit, bro. She's seriously fighting all their styles right now. I love that part.
Yeah, it just... Again, man. It was just an no for me, and I'm not mad about it. Again, I'm not mad at my rating. I'm not mad I watched it. I just prefer never to see it again.
Wow. You don't even want to know how many times I've watched this movie.
A lot.
This is legitimately my 8th time.
Holy shit.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, what? Did we watch the same movie? Like I said, it wasn't like the best of them all, but at the same time, it being the full circle, it being the way the fight scenes were going, her getting her fucking background, her pseudo family being brought in, her sister being brought in, and then loop back at the end with the end credit scene to what set you up for Hawkeye and shit. I was like, yeah.
And that's fine, man. That's fine. And to me, it being the worst Marvel film I've seen attached to this universe right here.
I can't
Attached to this universe right here.
because Thor is literally, the first Thor is literally the worst.
I was more entertained with that one. I really was.
I don't know how. I really don't know how. There's so much less happening in that movie than this movie. There's less development of story. There's less action sequences. Thor literally has no power the entire movie. Thor isn't even Thor. He's just a good-looking guy who's charming.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just enjoyed it a little more. It's not, and Thor is not one of my favorites, as you know, through the movies. But I thought it was better than this. I had more fun with that at least.
Are you drunk or something?
Nah, not right now.
I'm trying to find whatever the reason is, because I'm like, how the fuck was Thor better than this? Like I said, Thor we dropped down to a 6 because of Ant-Man and shit like that. Yeah, I can't walk away without giving this one an 8.
This one right here, an 8?
Yeah, like I said, I'd watch it again and again and again. Just the action sequences are just so good. The choreography and the fight scenes are super dope. The one-liners between her and her sister, the banter and shit, like, I chuckled the entire fucking time. Especially when she's like, why do you do that thing? They're in the store, she's like, what thing? That thing you do. You land, you jump out, and you do the thing with the arm and the leg and the thing, you know? The thing. You're literally a poser. I was fucking dying, bro. I was fucking dying.
I was hoping to really come into this enjoying it. Like when I started it off, I'm like, this is gonna, getting ready to watch the movie. Let me get my food heated up. Let me sit down and watch this. I was like, this is gonna be a good time. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't.
Like, I'm literally scratching my head over here. Ow. There's no way. There's no. Oh my god. I'm gonna see if I can get James to fucking do like a little video fucking response to you or something.
Hey man, I'll be fine with that. I tried. I'm giving you guys my honest opinion. I feel like okay. So here's some scenarios. The only way or ways I'd watch this movie, one, is if the wife's like, hey, because she wants to go through the Marvel Universe together, and of course we did with this one. Yeah. But she'll probably watch it whenever, before we watch the next one Saturday. If she really wanted me to watch it with her, I'd watch it with her. Can't promise I'd stay away from the whole thing, but I'd at least be down there with her. And then I'll say the same thing for a podcast. Like if it's for like a podcast, hey, we want you to come on this podcast to review this movie, I might watch it then, just to get a refresher on it, or it'll be like background noise by that time. But other than that, I can care less if I ever see this movie again. I can really care less if I ever see this movie again. And I wanted to like it. Like I liked everything else before. I really enjoyed everything else before. Damn near loved everything. But this, didn't even like it. Didn't want to give it a second glance, nothing.
I'm stuck. I'm fucking stuck. I'm like, yo, did you watch the right movie?
I watched the correct movie and I just didn't like it. I mean, hey man, listen, there's shit happens. I mean, yes, Marvel's still doing an amazing job with all the movies that they put out and the way they're connecting them, but hey, sometimes they're not all gonna get knocked out of the park. They're not all even gonna get to third base, so to speak. This one, to me, struck out.
You are literally the only person I know that just said that about Marvel, period.
Hey.
Like, there's nobody I know in the last 15 years of these movie-going experiences that somebody was like, yeah, I guess they can't win them all. Like, even the people that love these series go, to Thor, but again, they still 6-7 range, not fucking 2.
Hey, listen.
I'm like, how? I can't get over it. I can't. It's just fucked me up.
Look.
Got me fucked up. I'm done.
unapologetic with it, though. You know, it's
I'm done.
just how I feel about it. You gotta be honest. You gotta be honest about these movies and how you feel about it. Man, I'm being
What was
honest.
going on when you started watching this movie? What were you doing just before besides getting food? Like, did you just get into an argument with the wife? Were you missing her? Like, what was going on? Did your dog pee on your bed or something?
Nah.
Like,
none of that
I don't understand. What got your mindset into being like, trash?
I just didn't like it. I just didn't like it. I was sitting down, chilling, eating my food like I always do when I'm watching these Marvel movies. And
Wow. All right, I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go for now. For now.
So,
So, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Sturdy, Agent Sturdy, just gave Black Widow a fucking 2, possibly a 1. He said,
yeah.
and I'm giving it an 8. I've seen it 8 times, and I'm still giving it an 8. So, if you could, go back, watch the beginning of the episode. If you have made it this far, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. We're going to be doing this every Saturday night at midnight, as many times as I can to keep the consistency up. We're almost done with the MCU. We're just past the 7th inning stretch here, so to speak. Go watch the other ones. Remember to hit the like, the subscribe. Go check out Sir Sturdy's content here, all on his channels. You can go to horrorwithsirsturdy.com, get all of his socials, all of his content there as well. Go check him out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok. Super dope content. Homie just does his thing. We've been riding together for a little over a year now, so greatly appreciate you. I don't understand you sometimes, but I greatly appreciate you.
Being misunderstood sometimes is a great thing. And I just want to say one thing really quick, guys. So for those of you who do watch my content, greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. But for my gaming content from here until further notice, as far as the live gaming content, I'm going to be doing it just strictly on Twitch. And when we get out of here, I'm actually going to be going on Twitch with my brother and hopefully some friends, possibly at least my brother, to play a game. Tune in, you'll find out. Or _with_sir_story, or hit the QR code or go to the website horrorwithsirsturdy.com. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know it's gonna be strictly to Twitch because I just want to get that. I want to be like my bro over here. He made affiliate. I want to do the same shit. I want to. I'm like, he did it. Let me do it too, and let's support each other and do all that other great fun stuff and keep making this awesome content. Because I love it. At the end of the day, if I love a movie or hate a movie, coming here for these sit downs and having these conversations, I love that moment. It's like the best moment, even more enjoyable than watching the movie at times, even if the movie was great. I just love the conversation.
Well, with this one, obviously anything's more enjoyable than this one.
Not anything. There's a movie that I've seen that's a lot worse than this. That you've seen that's a lot worse than this.
Word. Yep. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, the Worst Damn Gamer, with our homie, Horror with Sir Sturdy. Check us out Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can check us out Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if this is too late for you. But you can always go watch this later on the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate everybody who's been coming, all the support, everybody on TikTok. You guys rock. I'm out. Y'all be good. Until next time.